Good morning. Welcome to the program Agenda. Thank you for being subscribers of Cignal TV and for watching Agenda on One News PH channels 8 and 250. Welcome to today's program. Also to those who are watching us via facebook.com/onenewsph and on YouTube for the replays and also for the live telecast One News PH on YouTube. And you can download the Signal Play app so you can watch us on the go. Thank you to PLDT for their home fiber optic internet. Palagi ko pong pinopromote yan kasi mahirap pong mag-interview. It is so hard to do interviews when the resource person does not have the strength, the signal strength, the internet speed, and the video keeps fluctuating or freezing. But luckily, that has seemed to improve nationwide. So pagdasal po natin na pati sana yung DITC makahabol na sa kanilang dakilang Wi-Fi sa barangay. Okay, today is December 3, 2021. It's a Friday, the beginning of a weekend, and I do hope you will all participate in the observation of health protocols such as wearing masks and socially distancing. And huwag niyo pong kakalimutan, yung paghuhugas ng kamay, ibalik natin yan. Let's bring it back to our daily lives as just like our parents. Okay, now let's go with the daily starter. And again, it's a reminder to all of us, whoever sows generously will also reap generously. Many of our Catholic or Christian friends often associate this with giving, lalo na yung sa church. When you give in church, we are reminded to give generously. Okay, now I will make the necessary adjustments. Roy, later, please let me finish. Anyway, today, okay, ayan. Tumatawag daw yung studio. Masyado raw nakatingala yung aking camera. Well, actually, this is just a lesson for all of you. You saw me tilt the camera because depending on the platform that you are using for broadcast or for seminars, because like yesterday, I gave an online seminar for media engagement and crisis management. And on Zoom, medyo iba yung perspective ng kanilang platform. On StreamYard, iba rin po yung perspective ng camera. So I had to do that. Now, let's go back to the daily starter. Those who sow generously will reap generously. Okay? From 2 Corinthians chapter 9:6. Why did I choose to use this morning? 2 weeks ago, I had some small business engagement. I was about to sell a certain product, and I just said to the Lord, if I get to sell this, I'll just give it to you. I'll give the proceeds to you as an act of offering and sacrificial offering, because I've always believed in sacrificial offering. When we wanted our own home, my wife Karen and I, what we did was we did the sacrificial offering by selling my first vintage car. I sold it at a loss para lang mabenta ko kagad, and then we gave the money to the building fund of our facility in the fort. And I just did it because I felt, it's biblical na bago natin unahin yung sarili natin, let's think of the Lord. And we got our house, and we got a lot of breaks when we were building that house. So 2 weeks ago, I was doing the same, and I said, if I close the sale, Lord, I'll just give the money to you. But unfortunately, the closed sale opened. Yung closed na, nag-open pa. And the sale did not push through. And instead of being able to unload X number of products, this week I was blessed with even more number of products from friends who basically said, let's just give that to Cito, or someone showed up last night and gave me similar products. And then I felt the Lord was saying, Cito, you can't outgive me. But because you were willing to give me, here I am giving you back. And I just want to share this with all of you. I'm not being religious or whatever you want to call it. I'm just being real. I've seen it in my life when I tithe from all of my income. I never run short. And when I give sacrificially, the Lord always gives. And I don't give because I expect something from the Lord. I'm just giving you this lesson today because some of you may be hearing from the Lord. Kumbaga parang tatayan, hindi ba? Like a father or mother talking to the little girl or little boy. Give me some of your chocolate. No, diba? But, it's like a parent testing the child, give me some of your chocolate. And you say no, not realizing your chocolate came from your parent or from God. Okay? So yun po, no? Just sharing that on this last day of the week. Those who sow generously will also reap generously. Okay, let's go to the front page of the Philippine Star. Today, December 3, 2021, Friday, the headline, 64 travelers who came from red list countries are being monitored. Okay, 4 from South Africa have tested negative in Negros. And let's be clear, okay, these are just headline stories, but they don't necessarily mean that those travelers are carriers of Omicron or COVID positive. So we are qualifying this because some people, you read the paper and you jump to conclusions. Sinasabi lang dito, there were 64 travelers who came from red list country. What does that tell you? The government is doing a good job monitoring those people coming from red list country, except for those who don't say they came from red list country, like the original 4 from Negros who said they came from Makati, only for the locals to find out. Teka. Yes, your last point of origin was Makati, but you came from South Africa. Yan po, no? Filipinos, please. When you are asked a question, please understand the question. And if you really know the question, be forthright, be truthful naman. Don't say you came from Makati when in fact you're actually being asked, what country did you last come from or spend the last 14 days? Okay, so as far as the authorities are concerned, the 4 who initially were monitored are test and have been tested are cleared. Okay, so okay na. Next, on the top of the header of the Philippine Star, booster shots for fully vaxxed adults starts today. Yan po yung sinabi ni Undersecretary Mirna Cabotaje the other day, that in the next few 2 days, a couple of days, so 2 days, this is the second day, mag-uumpisa na, they will start with the booster shots for Filipinos 18 years old and above. Actually, I shouldn't say Filipinos because the policy has always been for all, okay, regardless of citizenship. Kasi we also vaccinate foreigners. Even my wife has been vaccinated courtesy of the Philippine government and the DOH, and same with Filipinos in Europe or America. Okay, so it starts today. Magpa-booster shot na po kayo. Ako ay naghahanap laang kung saan pwede para matapos na. And by the way, kamusta na lang kay Arvic Tolentino, our executive producer, who is relaxing at home dahil hindi raw niya kinaya yung booster shot. Ewan ko ba, bata? Gusto mo lang yatang manood ng BTS eh. Okay, let's go now to the front page of the Philippine Star. And that photo is of President Duterte and his partner Hanilet Abansenya, together as they observe the lighting of the Christmas tree in Malacanang. Ayan po. So, kumbaga, ginagaya na rin natin yung ginagawa nila sa Aremica, sa America. Yung bang merong lighting of the Christmas tree and then posing of the President and the First Lady. Okay. And to the other side of the headline, we have, of the front page, we have the tally. Oh, taas-taas muna. Yan. COVID-19 confirmed new cases as of December 2, 564. So the other day, the other day it was 500 something, and now it increased by about 40, I think. But the number of deaths went down. Thank you, Lord. 40 lang ang namatay kahapon. So that's an improvement. We have not reached the 49,000, so 48,752 pa rin tayo. Thank you very much, Lord. And so please be careful, wear your mask, observe social distancing, and if you don't need to go out or you can avoid going out, bigyan nyo na lang ng trabaho at konting kita yung mga deliveries at saka yung Shopee, Lazada, etc. Kasi mas mura po yung tutubuin nila sa inyo kesa sa ibabayad nyo sa hospital at sa punerarya. Okay, back to the front page. Simbang gabi. Okay, ang dami sa inyo. Many of you are now preparing for the early dawn masses, simbang gabi. Only those who are fully vaccinated will be allowed, okay, inside the Quiapo Church. Hindi po natin alam what the rule will be in other churches, but as far as the authorities of the Quiapo Church are concerned, only those who can show proof you are fully vaccinated will be allowed inside. And of course, they will still be observing capacities, etc., etc. Yung po namang hindi fully vaccinated, the priests and authorities have said, you can still attend the simbang gabi, except that you will have to do it from outside the gate of the church, outside the fence, and socially distanced as always. Okay, now let's go to the other news down in the middle of the Philippine Star. The political rallies are still prohibited according to the DILG, according to officials of the DILG, particularly Interior Secretary Eduardo Año, that candidates, political parties, and their supporters should refrain from holding gatherings as this may become super spreader events. Okay, thank you, Mr. Secretary. However, if you cannot control them, perhaps it is just better to be silent as the lamb. Kasi lantara naman po, it's in your face. They do motorcades, they do political rallies, they give away shirts, they go to different provinces. Kahapon, meron nga dito sa Lipa City na partidong dumalaw. Sinong pipigil? You and what army, Mr. Secretary? So, unless you can actually impose your will, may I suggest that you refrain from expressing it because you simply add to the annoyance and frustration of the general public. I know Secretary Anyo means well, pero alam niyo po, kung puro tayo paalala, wala naman tayong napaparusahan o na ika nga ay nasa citation man laang, wag na laang umimik kasi nakakapikon lang po. Okay. That picture in the middle of the Philippine Star. Okay, okay lang yan. Okay lang yan. It's a photo of children participating in the simulated face-to-face classes. Now, as was flashed earlier, 28 National Capital Region schools are joining the pilot face-to-face classes according to the DepEd, and it will be by next week now, okay? Next week. The DepEd that the schools in the NCR region are part of the total 177 schools that will participate in the pilot in-person classes. And after all of that is done, we will find out, may nagkasakit ba? Nagkaaberya ba? Is it actually efficient or just a waste of too much logistics and personnel? And they will report that to the president. Okay. Further in the news, let's go. Last but not the least, you have that photo of the Bangko Sentral ng Pilipinas, Deputy Governor Mamerto Tangonan, Tangonan, ay, okay, holds a sample of the 1,000 polymer banknote yesterday, okay? May mukhang the central bank is set to start the limited circulation test of the plastic bills after it partnered with the Reserve Bank of Australia for printing. Okay, so ayan po, no? I think that is the news, and let's now go to the interview portion of the of our program. And thank you to the Philippine Star for the news that they provide us every day. Our guest for today is currently the Undersecretary for Consumer Protection. Lagi po niyo siyang nakikita sa TV doing the rounds of markets, supermarkets, public markets, etc., checking on prices, checking on handling and safety. And mabuti na lang nabibiyayaan. This woman is blessed because given all of the problems, complaints, and the multiple bureaus she has to run, she has managed to keep her good looks. You know, the Undersecretary for Consumer Protection also handles the Bureau of Philippine Standards, BPS, Consumer Protection and Advocacy Bureau, and the Fair Trade and Enforcement Bureau. Okay, let's bring in Attorney Ruth Castelo, our friend from the DTI. Attorney Ruth,
Oh,
good morning to you.
good morning. Good morning, Cito. Thank you for having me.
Matanong ko lang, what's your secret? Sa dami ng sakit ng ulo mo at problema mo, hindi ka tumatanda, maganda ka pa rin.
I don't let it affect me para hindi
Okay.
ako masyadong nasa-stress kasi I have it every day.
Yeah.
So, parang you have it every day, sanay ka na how to manage it. So, I don't let it go to my face.
Okay. Now, how long have you been with the DTI? Because it says here that aside from handling three bureaus, being an undersecretary, you were also with the NFA, National Food Administration. Gaano katagal ka na ba dyan sa DTI, USEC?
I was appointed in 2016, so I handled construction first. There's the Construction Industry Authority of the Philippines in DTI. It's an attached agency. I handled that. And then in 2018, I was moved to handle consumer protection, and I've been doing it for the last 4 years.
Okay, my team managed to provide me all of the responsibilities that fall under your authority, but I'm not exactly clear. How did you end up being appointed at the DTI, particularly in the field of construction? Because I mean, I was in construction before I got into media. It's not an easy field to be in. The technicalities, the players, the know-how, medyo komplikado yan. And let's be honest, women are not as rooted in this industry as they are in other countries.
Yes, I was a construction arbitrator. I joined the League of Construction Arbitrators sometime in 2016, early in 2016. And before that, I was handling a lot of construction cases. I learned to read plans. I learned to measure the sizes of construction materials, and I learned to measure pati yung gauges ng dimensions ng isang uh, infrastructure. So I learned that handling construction cases. So I was not only lawyering, I was also engineering. Kaya naging construction arbitrator ako. And then later on, so that's how I got into DTI. Probably the presidential management staff saw that I can handle construction in DTI, and that was my first portfolio. And then later on, I was given the consumer protection portfolio.
Okay, now one is more than enough as far as I'm concerned because having had some background in construction, I know that the biggest curse in this country is integrity of products and standards. Kasi anak ng ewan pag bibili ako ng bakal ngayon, hindi ko alam kung binibili ko construction o alambre. Sabi nga nila, many construction, veteran construction workers tell me, sir, yung bakal nung panahon nung bata ka, hindi mo mababaluktot ng kamay mo. Kailangan dalawang tao kayong magbabaluktot. Abay, ngayon dadalawang daliri, nababaluktot na namin yung bakal. What has happened to the construction materials in the country? You are handling the Bureau of Product Standards. And I
That's
assume
right.
kayo yung may hawak ng mga product standards. And what's happened? Did the industry itself lower its standards or paano ba?
That's right. Now in consumer protection, kasi the Construction Industry Authority of the Philippines has five bureaus, then parang five offices under it. There's the Philippine Domestic Construction Board, then the Overseas Construction Board, so on and so forth. So
Mm.
now in the Bureau of Philippine Standards, we also work closely with SIAP, with the Construction Industry Authority, kasi we mandate compliance to Philippine national standards. The Bureau of Philippine Standards, incidentally, is the Philippine standards body. It's the one assigned, mandated to promulgate standards for all consumer products. Right now, in our list, we have around 11,000 consumer products that have Philippine national standards. But unfortunately, or only around 88 right now are under the mandatory list, meaning that compliance to these standards is mandatory.
Mm.
We have recently included back in the list construction materials. So from 2016, we have included cement and steel, glass. Unfortunately, also we have an injunction case against the glass technical regulation. Then we have ceramic tiles, we have plywood, we have even yung steel roofing sheets, yung bubong.
Yeah.
Yun, kasama rin in our list. And when we're working also on hollow blocks. So these basic construction materials have mandatory standards that people need to comply with, whether you're an ordinary consumer or a contractor. Kailangan sundin mo yung standards na yun.
Yeah, how do you impose your will or those standards in areas kasi alam mo Yusek Ruth, ako nag-probinsya na ako. Umalis na ako dyan sa Metro Manila at narinig na ako sa Lipa, no, in Batangas. And when I managed to get out and go travel between the provinces or different towns, you will always see people making hollow blocks in open spaces, empty lots, etc. At when I make usyoso or I inquire, I am shocked when they tell me. I ask them, "What's your recipe for mixing the sand and the cement?" And when I find out, sabi ko, pare ko, medyo tinitipid niyo yata yung semento. How do you impose the standards in localities like that?
Construction materials. Tansya-tansya lang siguro yung hollow blocks. That's why, di ba?
Oo.
Tansya-tansya ng measurement. That's why it's also taking us a while to complete the technical regulations for this kasi two kinds yun, isang backyard, isang mechanized paggawa ng hollow blocks. But for all other materials that are placed under the mandatory list, we have the Fair Trade Enforcement Bureau that's in charge of enforcing all the regulations, all the policies that we have in the Consumer Protection Group. And then we also have the regional and provincial offices that assist us in consumer protection naman outside the National Capital Region. So we monitor, first we monitor all retailers selling mandatory products, yung mandatory products under our mandatory list. Kasi not only construction materials, so not only hardware and mga retail construction materials, but
Mhm.
also pati home appliances are included in our list. So
Yeah.
refrigerator, basic refrigerator, TV, blender, microwave, ganyan, electric fan. So we monitor all this, even yung helmets
Yeah.
and yung gulong kasama yun doon sa mandatory list
So,
natin. So we
but
monitor all this through the
yeah,
Fair
but
Trade Enforcement
i-
Bureau.
in doing those mandatory requirements or monitoring, do you also have set measurements? Because like you mentioned, electric fans, no? Pasensya ka na, OC ako talaga eh. And I always listen to the complaint of people, no? So, and we observed, you know, about 10 years ago, let's say, no? Let's say 10 years lang. The cord that is connected to an electric fan would usually be 1.5 meters. Abay ngayon, paikli na ng paikli, forcing you to buy extension cords. And people are saying, what's going on here? And then we notice that the wires are really thin. So,
Mhm.
fire risk, and then short, requiring, pati nga yung, basta, lalo na electrical. Ha, what, what is the government doing in terms of setting a standard? Kasi in Europe, they're now pushing, they're actually going to make it a law that all chargers are one kind under the EU.
Mhm.
Kumbaga, yung
Universal.
charging cable mo, universal, lightning yata yun, lightning plug. Hindi na pwede yung ang Apple iba, Huawei iba, etc. Now here in the Philippines,
Mhm.
parang I was just thinking that would be very pro-consumer, and I know you, of if there's anyone there, you are the most pro-consumer in the DTI. What is the direction of the government in uniformity of these sort of things?
That's why it's very important when buying consumer products, especially those under the mandatory list. They have to look. We all have to look for the PS mark or the ICC mark. Pag PS mark siya, ibig sabihin it's the Philippine Standard Mark. Ibig sabihin the manufacturer, whether local or foreign, nakapasa siya sa standards and quality testing ng DTI.
Mm.
Pagka import commodity clearance or ICC, nakapasa rin siya. So per product naman yung issuance natin ng per item, per piece actually yung issuance natin ng ICC. So there are two kinds of certification. And then when we buy these products under the mandatory list, of course, we do not expect people to know kung ano yung mga nasa mandatory list natin. But, diba? But we encourage them to look it up. It's in the DTI website. It's in the Bureau of Philippine Standards website. And we also post this every now and then sa consumer care social media pages natin. So, hanapin nila yung PS mark or ICC mark natin because if there is none, sigurado pong hindi yan na-test ng DTI at hindi natin alam the quality and the safety that it will provide us. Example, Sito, Christmas
Yeah.
lights.
Oh, oh.
Christmas lights, hindi ba? So it's very
Mm.
important, lalo na alam natin that it causes a lot of fire, di ba? In communities, in households, ganyan. So hindi tayo pwedeng basta bibili ng Christmas lights sa sidewalk or kung saan man na physical store na nasa tabi-tabi or nasa online nang hindi natin tinitingnan yung ICC mark. It cannot be a PS mark because Christmas lights are all imported. So lahat 'yan may ICC.
Aha,
Oo,
okay.
wala tayong local manufacturing ng Christmas lights eh. So we have
Mhm.
to look for the ICC mark. Pagka walang ICC, please wag niyo pong bilhin kasi hindi tayo sigurado kung kalidad ng material na yun. It means definitely that it that did not go through testing ng DTI.
Okay, but what do you do? How do you control that, you say? Kasi every year, ganyan na lang eh, di ba? Binabaha tayo ng imported and often smuggled Christmas lights, did not even go through the Philippine government regulatory offices. What are the plans of the DTI and the Consumer Protection Group and the Product Standards Office para matigil yan? Kasi yes, mura. Pero pag nasunugan ka ng bahay, eh magmumura ka rin, di ba?
That's right. Pagka dumating yan sa port at walang lisensya, hindi din naman nire-release ng BOC. And they
Mm.
will, the Bureau of Customs will ask DTI to issue the statement of conformity. Ibig sabihin, the product has conformed to standards or has been tested or has been inspected or audited, ganyan. Pagka wala nun, hindi rin nila i-release. Now, for some reason, merong mga ibang nakakalabas, we have naman the Fair Trade Enforcement Bureau na nag-monitor sa retail. We confiscate all these. As a matter of fact, June pa lang, nag-uumpisa ng June, July, August, kasi lumalabas yun, that's the time na lumalabas yung Christmas lights. Ang dami-dami na nating namomonitor na ganyan, na nakukonfiscate, kinukuha rin ng Fair Trade Enforcement Bureau. And
Okay, now,
also
yeah.
the regional and provincial offices, I
I'm
have to
just
mention
I'm
also.
just curious. If you were to put all of those confiscated, smuggled or illegal Christmas lights in container vans beginning June of the year, makakailang container van ka?
Puno na yung buong parking lot ng DTI main building sa ground. Ganun
Malaki-laki.
karami.
Mga 400, 500 square meter yung harapan ng DTI. Mapupuno pala yon ng
Oo,
Christmas
puno na
light.
yun. Yes, that's right. Ganun
Grabe.
kadami. But we
Okay.
destroy them. Yung every now and then, periodically, we destroy all confiscated materials. Sabay-sabay siya. Not only Christmas lights, pero pati bakal, pati semento, electric fan, helmet, ganyan. So, when we destroy them, sabay-sabay.
Yeah, but doesn't that create a problem with garbage and pollution? Kasi that has already been pointed out, when the customs uh, destroyed several vehicles, there were people who were saying, that's good to do good deterrent, but you're also creating a secondary problem in terms of disposal. How are we disposing all of this smuggled, illegal, or high risk, low quality products?
It's better to manage these materials as garbage, Sito, than allow them to proliferate in the market kasi substandard nga. So the
Mm.
safety, 'di ba, the health and safety of the user naman will be compromised pagka pinabayaan natin silang lumabas, or some people would even say na bakit hindi na lang ipamigay or bakit ibenta at cost na lang ganyan,
Yeah.
pero we cannot do that because we cannot compromise nga, like I mentioned, the health and safety. Plus, it's going to open a lot of opportunities for corruption, which we do not want. Diba?
Mhm.
Kaya better to just destroy all these products, manage the disposal. Pagka na-destroy na kasi siya, igagather yan. And then we have trucks that will collect them, tapos dadalhin siya sa appropriate disposal site.
Okay. Yusek, if you don't mind, let's go for a quick break. And when we return, I'd like to ask about the other bureaus that are under you, maliban dyan sa product standards, yung fair trade, etc. Kasi marami ring mga umaangal about unfair trade. So, pag-usapan natin yan. And we'll also talk about, of course, I don't know, siguro pagod ka na rin para ka sigurong marathon runner when it comes to suggested retail prices, Yusek. Okay,
Okay,
we'll
sure.
go for a quick break and we'll be right back here on Agenda. Okay, you're back. Hello, you're back here on Agenda. I'm your host, Cito Beltran. The time is 8:35 in the morning. It's a Friday, December 3, 2021. And I'm sure all of you are so excited to observe or celebrate Christmas. But that comes with a lot of headaches, particularly buying stuff. With us is none other than Undersecretary Ruth Castelo of the Department of Trade and Industry to help us forecast what's in store for Christmas. Sec Ruth, ewan ko, praning lang ako siguro, no? But yesterday morning, I was telling my wife already, maybe we should go to the supermarket already. Maybe we should come up with our menu, our plans, etc. Because I sure don't want to go to crowded supermarkets or palenques just to prepare a Noche Buena. Parang kung ganyan lang, magpapatay na ako ng isang sasabungin ko dito.
We have sufficient supply naman, Sito. The consumers need not worry kasi hindi tayo mauubusan. But of course, it's always a good advice to do it early. Kasi kung
Mhm.
mamimili ka rin lang naman and you have the funds anyway, so wag mo nang hintayin yung last minute para makisabay sa rush. Because, of course, alam naman natin na some people would have to wait for the 24th or the 25th because of yung pera nila dadating ng ganong panahon na lang. Wag na natin sabayan. If we can, bili na tayo ng mas maaga and look for we would advise also to look for mga bundled products. Ayan yung ganyan na if you would see it.
Mhm.
Naka-bundle siya. In our computation, you would be saving around 20 pesos hanggang 70 pesos pagka yan, mga ganyan ang binili mo. So it's
Well,
also good, but please
mhm.
make sure to look for expiration dates lang.
Okay, ladies and gentlemen, that's a good suggestion from Yusek Ruth. Kasi marami po sa inyo, akala nakakatipid sila, ay bibili mo na lang akong dalawang pakete, babalik na lang ako. Hindi po nyo kinocompute kung magkano yung oras nyo, kung kayo ay sinisweldohan, yung biyahe, at saka yung pamasahe nyo. So tama yung sinasabi ni Yusek Ruth. Kung bibili ka lang din naman ng let's say, macaroni or spaghetti, wag pa isa-isa, bumili ka na nung nakakarton na maliliit na gano'n. Any other suggestion, Yusek? Kasi I was speaking with Chester Tan and Nikki Briones, who are representing the pork producers. And sabi nila, Sito, traditionally, expect nyo na natataas ang presyo ng baboy over the holidays. Now, apparently, there is also a serious lack. Kasi sabi nila, hindi naman binibili ng mamimili yung mga frozen. Gusto ng mamimili yung mga fresh. Now, are you doing any coordination work with the DA regarding this?
Yes, we have the Presyong Reasonable Dapat program. But this is for frozen products, for frozen meat products, which would, kung makikita ninyo, the price difference would be around 100 pesos per kilo. Like now, dun sa PRD program natin, ground pork is at 200 pesos.
Mm-hmm.
'Di ba, compared to you buy it at 260, 280 pesos. So yung anong tawag doon, yung kasim, yung
Oh,
laman mismo, and then the pigi, 250 pesos lang ang liempo na
mm-hmm.
frozen. So
Okay.
this is a project of DTI and the Department of Agriculture para maibaba natin temporarily man lang we can give relief to the consumers. So kung gusto nilang mag-frozen, mag-imported muna sila. That's the thing lang, imported to kaya siya frozen. And then for Noche Buena products naman, the ones that we serve traditionally, di ba, for Christmas, meron tayong suggested retail price for that.
Ako kasi makikikain na lang ako sa Noche Buena kasi kung dito sa bahay ko ako kakain, wala ako nung buko fruit salad. Kasi yung asawa ko foreigner, hindi uso sa kanila yon, at saka yung spaghetti matamis, hindi uso sa kanila yon.
We'll just send you, Sito,
Ay, wag na
fruit
kasi
salad.
ako po ay nasa Batangas. Huwag na kayong mag-abala. But thank you very much. But okay, going back to the Noche Buena preparations, okay, what are the concerns? What are the concerns? We are already talking or advising people to go early, to shop early. You suggested that they shop bundle products by the bundle para makatipid sila. And what else?
We published the latest, yung 2021 Noche Buena Suggested Retail Price Bulletin natin last Saturday, November 27, in Philippine Star and Abante as tabloid. So nakalagay doon, may perforation siya na gupitin at dalhin pag namili because these are the products that where we have inspected prices na nasigurado natin in coordination with the manufacturers na ito po yung mga produkto na hindi nagtaas ng presyo or nagbaba pa. Instead of
Mm.
raising the prices or increasing the prices, we used to have 219 shelf keeping units in the bulletin. Pero wag po nilang tingnan yung 2020 because kasama doon yung mga nag-increase ng prices. We removed them, Sito. We now have only 130 shelf keeping units in the current bulletin kasi
Uh-huh.
inalis natin yung mga nagtaas. So, hindi na natin sila i-promote. Unlike before na lahat ng nasa bulletin kasi we promote them. So, this year, dahil nagtaas yung iba, we remove them. So, we're promoting now and encouraging consumers to look into the products na nasa bulletin natin. Kasi ito yung mga, of course, the same quality, pero mas mababa ang presyo or hindi sila nagtaas from last year.
Okay, what about yung expiration dates nga, no? Because there are, ewan ko, kapon kasi nadinig ko na naman yan. May mga kasama akong veterinaryo and sinasabi, well, expired na actually yan. And sabi nung isa, pero hindi ba pag expired good for 1 year pa yan? And ano, ano ba talaga, ikaw na ang magsabi, Yusek, kasi baka sabihin ng iba dyan, nagmamarunong ako, may magalit pa sa akin.
Pagka expiration, 'di ba, parang may 1 month pa, I'm not sure, parang may
Oh.
1 month pa na puwede. But in supermarkets kasi, pagka mag-e-expire na siya ng within the month, hindi na puwedeng ibenta.
Ah,
You should not find it in the shelves anymore. Pero pwede nilang i-bundle yon. That's why the warning to consumers is yung discounted price. That's why our warning is to look for expiration date. Kung hindi pa naman siya mag-e-expire at magpapasko na, magagamit mo na, bilhin mo na. Okay lang
mhm.
yon, mas mura pa. But also kailangan syempre medyo masusi din tayo na expired na, nasa cabinet pa natin or nasa pantry pa natin. Pero kung nakapack naman siya, I don't know. I'm not a health person. Hindi po ako
Yeah.
medical expert, so I cannot say.
Well,
Pero kung
oh.
nakapack naman ng ganyan at mukhang sandali pa lang naman, maybe within the month, pwede
Mhm.
pang i-consume.
Okay, kasi ang ito po mga kaibigan, ano, yung rule na nalaglag yung pagkain, pinulot mo, wala pang 1 minute, medyo
The
marami sa
one
ating
minute
na
rule.
marami sa ating naho-hospital dyan sa 1 minute rule na yan eh. But with expiry dates, okay, the suggested rule is if a product says expires December 2021, it has to be consumed by December 2021. Kasi pag nag-shopping po kayo at binandel yan, dahil ang expiration naman ay December 2021, ang ibig lang sabihin niyan, wag nyo nang palalampasin ng 2021. Kasi yung iba, katulad nung mamang Cito Beltran, biglang naglinis ng kanyang pantry, nakita yung mga 2018, 2019, kasi ang
That's
tamad-tamad.
scary. Nakakatakot yun, Sito.
Seriously, kasi kanya nga kami, ang rule namin, if you want to open something, check. Kasi kung minsan, katamaran na, pantry, hindi mo na ba masyadong tinitingnan, you don't get food unless you want food. But if you have a rule of looking at the expiry date, even of medicines, because may mga medicine
Especially,
ako, bit ko sa emergency, no, isang araw tiningnan ko, lekat, kung ininom pala ito, mapupunerarya ako, expired na pala itong emergency medicine ko. Anyway, Yusek, what else? Because I mean, sayang naman ang beauty mo at ang ano mo, ang iyong expertise kung puro lang suggested retail price ang pag-aabalahan natin. What is the biggest concern of the consumer protection group nowadays?
Right now. Currently, yung issue natin on online, of course, online shopping natin is a concern. We receive a lot of issues on that every day. But yung pinaka-importante, the hoax or the scam that we receive, I'm sure you have received also a lot of messages offering you jobs, offering you certain amount, 'di ba? That you will earn a day or a month, ganyan. Please, ang sabi po ng National Privacy Commission, do not entertain. Dahil
Mm,
hindi po sila totoo, in all likelihood, they are a scam because the big companies like this, kasi ang lalaki ng kumpanya na minimension nila, di ba, where you will
mm,
earn a lot. Big companies like this will post advertisements legitimately
mm.
either in their website or in the newspapers kung talagang kailangan nila or if they are up for hiring. Hindi po sila magpapadala ng text messages. Even the National Telecommunications Commission has also issued advisories na hindi po ito totoo, wag po kayong maniwala. Kasi
Okay.
they will just, if fish lang nila yung information mo from your
Mm,
phone, a lot of times, di ba, pati passwords mo,
yeah.
nakasave sa cellphone. So if you click on any link na illegally or illegitimately sent to you, makukuha po nila lahat ng data
Oh,
is stored in your cell
okay.
phone.
Yusek, recently, if I'm not mistaken, the DTI recently launched a campaign yung tungkol ba sa price on online products, yung bang
That's right.
PM, ano bang
PM
tawag
is
nun? PM
PM
is
is
not
not the key
not the key.
also.
Okay. Okay,
Yes.
kasi yung iba pag for sale, pagkatapos PM is is the key, sa sinabi ng DTI, bawal 'yon. Now, if you go to Facebook right now, Facebook yung kanilang marketplace, ang daming products doon, may price. Ang price
Mm.
1, 2, 3, 4. O kaya ang price is
XXX.
2 or XXX. What are the plans of the DTI to impose its policy and regulations on social media platforms such as Facebook, and even the other companies na nagpo-post ng product pero walang
Instagram.
price. Yeah,
Yes, that's
Instagram.
right.
Oh,
That's sobrang dami niyan, and since pre-pandemic, kasi lalong tumaas ang e-commerce natin last year, at the height of the pandemic in 2020. But even before that, we have been advising consumers already to not patronize itong mga sellers on social media that do not post prices, because it's actually not DTI policy. We're just implementing the law. It's in the Consumer Act and the Price Act that says
yeah.
that prices of the products should be on the face of the product itself when you buy
Mm,
it or when
yeah.
you sell it. Kaya even online, kasi offline, it applies. Of course, supermarkets, department stores, hinahanap natin lagi ang presyo. Sa online, ganun din. Please let us not patronize them, kasi po nasasanay sila. But what we do, we have a dedicated team naman in the Fair Trade Enforcement Bureau that it is in charge of monitoring all online sellers. Kaya lang syempre sa dami niyan, hindi ba?
Yeah, but
We start with the
what about going directly to the local representatives of Facebook? Because I'm sorry, no, I mean, I'm a Facebook user. I benefit from Facebook, but there comes a point when we need to follow the law, and Facebook has managed to get away with much of that. They have a marketplace platform, pero hindi lang nga presyo, walang presyo eh. Isa pang nakakainis, maraming mga sexualized content or adult products that is visible to young people, and kahit na i-report mo ng i-report, mawawala ng bahagya, pero as you go through the process, meron na namang lalabas. Does the DTI or your group or Fair Trade intend to sit down with these people and say, hey guys, it's time for you to do your share.
Especially Facebook, Sito. We have very good working relationships with all other platforms like Lazada, Shopee, Zalora,
Mm.
even the logistics, yung mga logistics companies na third party service providers nito, we work with them. But Facebook, we have tried so many times to sit down with them and seek their assistance kasi
Mm.
nga alam natin na nangyayari to.
Say
Um,
it, Yusek.
we have not received the cooperation and support of Facebook.
Yeah,
They say that they cannot control their marketplace kasi individual pages daw to set up by individual people na hindi nila makokontrol basta-basta, so they
ironically
cannot
when
assist.
the US Congress and legislators and the US media went after them in America, they tightened their ship. And I really appreciate that you shared that you're honest about it, because it is not because we don't like Facebook, but if we are all going to have a shared responsibility and accountability, I think it's time that the DTI and we in media get together along with the National Privacy Commission to get Facebook's attention, Facebook Philippines'
Please.
attention, and
Yes.
get their act together. Thank you for that,
Thank you,
Yusek.
thank you. Just to let you know, just to add to that,
Mm.
the Fair Trade Enforcement Bureau set up a page in Facebook. And then we have been receiving a lot of complaints, yung mga private messages naman or sometimes posted on the page are seeking help from FDEP.
Mhm.
Facebook took it down.
Okay,
So
what
it's not there
about yung
anymore.
mga spam offers? Kasi it's commercial, right? I mean, it's trade. So, yung mga offers na hindi mo naman sinusolicit, does the DTI have a plan in the future of how to put a stop to this? Kasi may mga kilala ko sabi, pare magpapalit na ako ng telephone number. Bakit? Mukhang nasa social media na yata yung telepono ko. Lahat ng real estate agent sa akin nag-o-offer.
That's that's true. Yung spam messages naman na yan, you would wonder also where they get the numbers, hindi ba? So, first advice, kapag naka-receive po kayo that you won 100,000 pesos, you won a car, you won a house and lot, na wala naman kayong sinalihan na contest, hindi ba? Please do not entertain. And then all other spam messages, please just ignore. Of course, it's a bother na nasastorbo tayo, pero we're doing something about it. We're also working on this with the National Telecommunications Commission. So ang
Mhm.
advice po nila, report the number so that they can block para hindi na maka-operate itong numbers na to. Kasi makikita mo naman doon kung anong number yung nag-send. But please do not reply to them also. Wag niyong
Mm.
sasagutin. Just report the number. You can send it to DTI 1384. You can just call us at
1384.
1384. Yes.
Okay, malaking
Para
bagay yan.
ma-block ni NTC yung numbers at hindi na nila magamit.
Okay, so we only key in 138 or ano yun
1384.
1384. Hindi na kailangan ilagay yung DTI 1384 lang.
Oh, I will show you the keypad. Just to let you know, it's you dial 1 kasi ay
Yeah, okay.
sabi ni NTC you dial 1.
Oh.
384 is DTI. If you look at the keypad,
Okay, okay, okay.
three is D, 8 is T,
Yeah.
4 is letter I. Ayan.
Okay,
Kaya siya
okay.
384.
Pasensya ka na. Alam mo naman ako, tige. Magbubuko at magmamanok. Hindi ako
But I
techie.
love your garden. I love your garden.
Anyway,
Super.
okay, so we have a few more minutes now. We've talked about spam, scams, yung mga SRPs, etc., and then yung mga bundles and buying early. What other concerns do you have or you want to share with our viewers, Yusek?
All other concerns in consumer protection, you know where to reach us, 1384, or send us your email at consumercare@dti.gov.ph. And please like and share our pages in Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. Nandyan po lahat ng mga advice natin at mga reminders natin sa consumers, and all our invitations for our consumer care webinars that we conduct twice a week for the information of
ano
consumers.
yung webinars na yan?
We have consumer care webinars on various topics, whether it's IATF regulation, whether it's PM is key, whether it's on warranty of products, whether it's on standards of cement, ganyan. All consumer issues we discuss in the webinar series. We get resource persons, we get experts to speak to consumers about these topics.
And how long do they go for? Kasi alam mo, I haven't done a webinar since COVID-19 shut us down. I did my first one yesterday. Mamatay-matay ako sa pagod. 2.5 hours ako nagtuturo. Hindi madaling mag-webinar. How long are these consumer protection webinars?
It's a 2 hour program. It's a 2 hour forum. Siguro one for the first hour magsasalita yung speaker, and then there's a question and answer after that, or we can have a panel. Depende dun sa gusto ng resource person natin, how the format that they would want it. Pero
Mm.
very interesting siya kasi you learn a lot. You even learn a lot about sustainability, about the environment, even climate change. We discussed that.
Okay.
So
By the
very
way,
interesting.
I'm not sure if I got it correctly, but are you a plantita?
Yes, I am.
Okay, okay. Kasi alam ko, last time tayo nagkita in person was in a garden, but you were buying something for a friend. Now, for the plantitos and plantitas, although parang medyo naghumina na yung intensity ng plantito, plantita, that's another area where pricing is not obvious.
Mhm.
What can the DTI do? Kasi alam mo, recently nakakadinig ako, Yusek, ng mga halamang halagang 1 million. Sabi ko, ano na ba yan? Magagalit na si Lord sa kabaliwan na yan. Ano? But it's always shocking when you go to a garden center and you just think of an ordinary plant and they tell you it's 300 or 500. How can we avoid those embarrassing situations na dapat sana may pangalan at may presyo?
May price tag. Maybe we can also, because it's a retail store, retail din naman yan, di ba?
Mm.
Binibenta nila yung halaman nila on retail. We can start monitoring them also to make sure na nakalagay per item, so per paso, yung pangalan ng halaman at yung presyo niya. But
Mm.
how they price it, kasi these are neither basic nor prime goods, hindi na natin sila pwedeng i-regulate. But the consumers, canvas muna tayo before we buy so that we can find the cheapest price also.
Ayun. So sana malagyan nyo ng presyo alang-alang sa mga kapwa plantito and plantita. Okay. Yusek, may
Because of
pahabol na.
your advice,
Okay.
papalagay natin yan.
Hindi na ako
Papa-monitor natin yan.
makakapunta doon sa mga garden center. Baka mabato ako ng kalaykay. Okay. May pahabol na question dito. What about hospitals and medical bills? Kasi hindi malaman ng consumer and ng mga patients who determines this and who monitors it, because it's not a consumer good, but uh, it is a requirement, di ba?
Mhm.
Kayo ba sa DTI, do you have any influence on that? Kasi yung mga doktor daw parang kanya-kanyang presyo, ang hospital kanya-kanyang presyo, etc.
The supervision over hospitals, whether public or private, falls under the Department of Health. So sila rin
Mhm.
ang nagre-regulate ng professional fees, or if they can,
Aha.
professional fees, the billings, ganyan. Pero on medicine and medical devices, we co-share the price negotiation board with the Department of Health. That's under the Universal Healthcare Law.
Okay.
And
Okay.
then we also sit with them sa advisory council imposing the mandatory drug retail price. Kaya alam
Okay.
natin yung presyohan, we have a hand also in the computations. The DOH naman listens to our suggestions. On the implementation, syempre magkatulong din kami. It's also our
Okay.
mandate to monitor the prices
Ayun.
of medicine and medical devices.
Ayun. Thank you very much, Yusek. I've run out of time.
I
Have a
have
good.
I have a last thing to say. Today is Friday, Sito,
Hmm.
and this is Secretary Lopez's project kasi. We have Flex Friday every Friday. So, all of us kasi we like posting on social media, 'di ba? Whether it's food or ourselves or our friends or our family.
Yeah.
So, Flex Friday is wearing or using something that is locally made by our MSMEs, mga native products natin, susuot natin or gamitin natin at i-post sa social media to encourage everyone na number one, of course, it will instill love of country, di ba? We
Okay.
patronize our own, help
So
our
Flex
MSMEs.
Friday.
Yeah. Flex Friday.
Okay.
Today's Friday. I'm wearing a bamboo watch. It's called Kawayan. You buy it at around 2,000 pesos in Go Local.
Okay. Well,
Ayan.
anyway,
Yan.
Yusek, pasensya ka na kasi baka ma-flex yung wallet ko pag hindi ko tinigil yung
Okay.
program. Thank you
Okay.
very
Thank
much.
you. Thank you.
Okay. Okay. Thank you very much, Yusek Ruth Castelo from
Thank
the
you very
DTI.
much.
Okay, and we
Thank
leave
you,
you.
Sito.
Okay, thank you. We leave you with our blessing for the week, and God is able to bless you abundantly so that in all things, at all times, having all that you need, you will abound in every good work. Please be a blessing to others. I'm Cito Beltran, thanking you for joining us this week here on Agenda. Please keep it here on One News PH.